Steve, can I ask you a general question? I love it. Right. Look, Man United went through in a very gutsy performance, I think, under big pressure. What did you make of it last night? How big a victory was it for them and for David Moyes?
Well, forget the performance, it's about result. And they got the result. They did the job. They started very well. And, it shows the value of Van Persie. I think also shows the value of Ryan Giggs coming back in and gave a great performance, which went a lot unnoticed, but he's a big player for them, especially in Europe. And I was delighted myself personally because, I've said from the beginning, David Moyes is the man, and, I know the staff there, I know all the players, so, it's a great club and it takes time and you're going to have ups and downs, and, although one swallow doesn't make a summer, it's a great victory and puts them in a quarter-final. It's a big lift. But as I say, now you have to follow that up. And they've got a great opportunity, and I don't know what's Van Persie's situation, but, they need him. They struggle without him. And when he's in the team, they can win games, they can score goals, and they can go through in Europe. Europe is very, very strange, and, I often talk to Steve Round, who's there, and say you just need one great victory. And I think the key thing for me last night also was that a lot of things went for them. A lot of, whereas maybe other times, they weren't getting the rub of the green, they weren't getting decisions. De Gea was making great saves, which kept them in the game. So that kind of can turn, and that's the kind of thing that needs to turn. And last night I saw little signs of that. And, for being an ex-Red, I hope that continues.
They are the longest odds of any of the 8 in the quarterfinals. Is that fair?
I think you look at any of the teams can go through. You've seen it from the past, but there's very good teams in there. But it's what happens on the night, and a performance like that, anything can happen at Old Trafford. And it's consistency. That's what's been lacking. Everybody can see that. But that takes time. New coaching staff, new manager comes in, different players. It takes time. And as long as he's given the time, he'll turn it around.
Thank you. I guess the same applies to what's happened here. To what's happening here. I mean, people are talking about a little blip that you've had, but it's still very new, isn't it? And it's something you stressed to us all the way along when you're on that incredible run. That, look, we're not the finished article. This is all part of a learning curve.
Yeah. Absolutely. We're talking about it today. We've never been in this position before as a group of players. Playoff positions, expectations, last 10 games. Fighting with all them other big teams around us to stay in the playoff positions. It's different. We've kind of come through and spoilt the party. I know Burnley, but they've been there all season on merit too. But we've kind of gate crashed. We find ourselves in a good position. 10 games to go. Every game now, I don't care whether it's Nottingham Forest or it's Ipswich on Tuesday, and then Charlton and got Barnes. Every game now is a big game.
Against Forest, I always ask you a little bit about your time there, and I guess you won't want to focus on it too much.
Well, I think I came here 6 months ago, and I think I kind of talked about that, and we put that to bed. It's a great club, Nottingham Forest, great fans, and one that's destined, I think, one year to do it and be ready for the Premier League. I know that, and and the mistakes that were made, and a lot on my behalf when I was there. I think we went through that 6 months ago. So I'm just pleased to have been associated with Nottingham Forest. Now I'm on the other side at Derby. No, it's a big game, and it's a big game not just for the players, but big for both sets of fans.
Any regrets about taking the job? Or
No, certainly not. No, it's a great club, no regrets. Just about doing some of the things that I did when I was there.
Do you think if they had the owners they've got now when you were there, you might have still been there?
Hindsight was a great thing in football. Who knows?
What about your team now? I mean, they haven't scored in 4 games, which I guess you didn't see coming, did you? Because they've been so prolific.
I mean, yeah, what worries me is it would worry me if we weren't creating chances and weren't playing well the last two games. I mean, Bolton here was one of the best games without scoring that I've seen us play. And a good performance against Reading, who are a very good team. And again, we created chances, just couldn't quite put it away. We've got goal scorers, we know that from the past. It's just a case of something happening and it turning around. But the key thing is what we do. You know, everybody's talking about everybody else and this result, that result. Means nothing. We have to win our games. And to win games, we have to score goals. We know we're capable of doing it. We've got to keep doing the things we're doing and it will turn.
Both teams are on a similar sort of run, aren't they? They've both had an incredible run of form.
Yeah.
Both followed by a little bit of a blip. I mean, Forest are now winning 7 now. So this is a key game, a pivotal game for both teams in that regard, isn't it?
Well, that's right. It's and what a fantastic occasion that both clubs going for the playoffs and we meet with 10 games to go. It's great and pretty much in the same kind of form. And you know, it isn't tomorrow Saturday that winner takes all, and that will be it. There's still a lot of games to go, but you know, whoever gets the result on Saturday will be pivotal over what happens over the next 9 games.
There's a massive backstory as well when you look at it. I mean, as if there isn't enough spice to a Derby Forest derby anyway. You've got UX Forest, you've got Billy Davies ex Derby, and the fans notice all of that, and they feed off it, don't they?
It's what football's about. It's theatre. It's entertainment. This is what you guys love. The fans love everybody in football, you know. But we have to treat it as a football match, and I'd hate our players to treat this game any differently than we've got Ipswich next Tuesday and say, well, this is a bigger game. They're all big games now. They're all massive games. But this has got a little touch of spice. It's not just about Derby, Nottingham Forest. It's also about staying in a playoff position, of which we both want to do. So, you know, the prize at the end, and the game is big, and you will spice everything up, and you will bring everything up to make it bigger and larger, and what I call the sideshow. We have to dispense with that and let you get on with it, and we have to concentrate on the football.
Billy Davies has been quite clever though. He's going to be on the touchline next to you for the game because he's appealed against his ban from the FA.
You'll have to come a long way and have to come and join me up in the stand. I've got a seat by the side of me. You can come and do that. No, yeah, it's you know, it's about what happens on the field.
He's been clever though, hasn't he?
I don't know. I've not really followed it at all. You know, I just know that it's a football match and I sit in the stands and some of the managers are downstairs and that will be the same. And we'll clash. But it's what happens on the field. That's the most important.
You don't think it makes a difference to Forest that they can have their manager there on the touchline, especially with the type of personality he is? He's going to get involved, isn't he?
Well, if it's an advantage for them, then fair dues. We have to cope with that. We have to deal with that. And as I say, it's about what we do. And there's the line, and it's really what we do on this side of the line that I'm bothered about.
Beforehand, so it's 20 years since a game where Forest and Derby were both fighting for the playoffs, were both in sort of promotion positions. It is, so it's make or break as far as the fans are concerned because of the run, because of there is so much at stake than there usually is for this game, which is always spicy anyway.
Well, I think they'll be exactly the same. It's not make or break. You know, it's a one-off game. It's a different game because it's a derby game. Form goes totally out the window. Derby games are a fight till the end. And that's what our players have to do. We have to fight, no regrets, make sure we come off that field dying and got a performance and got a result. That's it. It's not do or die. It doesn't mean to say winner or losers are in or out the playoffs. Still a lot of games to go, but I think the extra spice is because it's a derby game. And what I'm pleased about is that both clubs, ourselves, who 6 months ago probably didn't dream of being in this position, we're in this position where, you know, it's a kind of a double whammy game in terms of not just for the playoffs, but for the pride of Derby.
You've experienced the atmosphere at these games, the other end of the A52. What do you expect over here on Saturday?
It's a fantastic atmosphere. You know, I think the key thing will be the fans. You know, I think our fans will be key to that. I think, you know, I saw the game at Forest and. It was a great atmosphere, and we have to stay composed. We have to stay relaxed and calm, and deal with the pressure, deal with the expectation. But they do as well. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's 90 minutes, 95 minutes of derby football between two teams who want to win. What a great contest, and what a great occasion to be there.
10 games to go though. When you started, you said, ask me near the end of the
Yeah.
season, and I'll say whether we deserve to be. Clearly, you do feel you deserve to be up there, and so the points, it's about points, it's about pride, but it's about promotion as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, that's the key. You know, that's the absolute key. You know, it's not about Saturday. It's another game, and we're not treating Nottingham Forest any different than we did Reading, than we did Bolton, Millwall, and we do with Ipswich and Charlton coming up, and the other teams. They're all, you know, it's an old cliche, cup finals, but they're not cup finals. They're all big games, and a lot of people are talking and looking at other fixtures. We don't. We just concentrate on what we can do, because we're not going to win. We're not going to get in the playoffs. We have to start winning games. We have to start scoring goals. And Saturday is an opportunity for us to do that.
I'm sure the players will be desperate to be on that team. What's the injury situation? Because there are a couple of question marks over some key players.
Yeah, I think everybody's come to Will Hughes train today. So everybody is, I think everybody's available and fit.
Steve, you still talk about the playoffs. Are you still ruling out automatic promotion? Or do you don't think?
Yeah, I think Burnley and Leicester have run away with it and too far away for others to catch up, and there's no consistency down below to do that. It's probably only Wigan at the present moment on a great run. Stalled a little at Yeovil, but been on an incredible run of wins. And it is about momentum now at the end of the season, and Burnley and Leicester have got that momentum. And the teams below, that's what we're searching for. And you know, the sooner you find it and you time it right, finish the season strong, you end up in the playoffs.
Lots of ifs, buts and maybes to come, but you could potentially meet Forest in the playoffs. So how does Saturday bear on that? Would that be a good marker, do you think?
Totally different game. I think it's, we're not even looking ahead to that. We're just making sure that we're concentrating on this game, and know that it's a very good Nottingham Forest team. Despite all the injuries, and I hear Andy Reid now is injured. I think that's a big loss for them. It's a big player for them. Very influential, I know. Andy, very well, good player. So they'll miss him. So I think we're not thinking of the playoffs and opponents and things. We're just concentrating on making sure we're in there at the end.
And every time I see you, you've always got a big smile on your face. You're obviously really still enjoying the job and everything that surrounds it.
Yeah. Mud underneath, but smiling outside.
Are you like the swan?
I'm still going quicker than the swan underneath, don't worry. But no, I think it is enjoyable. As we all know, 6 months ago we came in and it was a bad situation to come into. It's calmed down, it's settled. The players have done absolutely magnificent, fantastic. The fans, the club, it's a great club. It's ready to go. It's ready to explode, and we've put ourselves in a position for that to happen. Thank you.
Steve, I was just going to ask you about the fact that is it vindication for you a little bit as well? The announcement that the club have put out this week about season ticket sales for next season. Excuse me, 16,500 for a championship club. That's quite extraordinary, isn't it, for me?
Yeah, I mean, results on the field are the most important in a football club, without a shadow of a doubt. But what you get, the repercussions from that, and especially as we know at Derby, it's a great club, that the fans will respond and they'll start coming back, and that's what they're doing. And that pleases me probably more than anything, is that that's what we wanted to create, that kind of buzz and excitement, expectation. And don't you guys in the media play it down, because that's all part of the game. We have to do that on the field, but we've got some buzz and excitement. It's not just a Forest Derby game, it's a Forest Derby game that's important for the playoffs.
Thank you.
Steve, you say you're treating them differently to any other games with the fans here, packed house. Is that going to be difficult for the players to think, okay, it's just like another game?
No, I think the players have got more experience of these games than I do, so they will know. And we've had this expectation and this pressure now for quite a few weeks since going on the run and getting into the playoffs in third position. So the players are getting used to it. They'll know what to expect. We're at home, and we know it will be one hell of a fight against a good Forest team.
Right. You say one hell of a fight. Some of these meetings have been pretty fiery in the last few seasons, as I'm sure you know. Is that something you'll talk to the players about?
Absolutely. I think it's you've got to keep a cool head. You've got to have that what I call fire and ice. Really, you've got to have the fire in the belly, and you've got to have the ice cool to play football. So the players know that. They know what they have to do. It's just a case of Saturday of doing it.
And do you feel with this bit of a goal drive you've got, it's just going to take one to go in and start going?
Well, you like to think so, and you like to think that it won't carry on. For me, you know, we're not. We've got to keep performing as we're performing. Bolton, so many good football, so many chances. Even last week against Reading, such good football, so many chances. You know, we know we can score, and we're waiting for it to turn. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.